Karim Benzema hasn't been chosen for the French national team since October of 2015, and so long as the World Cup winning manager and player Didier Deschamps is at the helm, it's unlikely we'll ever see Benzema wearing the blue of Les Bleus again. Why? Well, there's a few reasons, and it's more than just the blackmailing case that you're probably thinking of. And just before we get to those reasons, allow me to introduce myself as we go on this journey of alleged blackmail and sabotage. I'm Adrian, and welcome to Verboten TV. If you're finding us for the first time, we do tons of timely content on current football news, as well as explainer videos like this one, player bios, and much more. But let's get to Benzema, starting with the initial reason for his suspension from the French national team. In November of 2015, Karim Benzema was arrested and placed under investigation for his alleged connection to an attempt at blackmailing his French compatriot, Mathieu Valbuena. Both Benzema and Valbuena were suspended from the French national team until the situation was cleared, along with their names being cleared. Now, as for the blackmailing situation itself, it all started in June of 2015 when a blackmailer contacted Valbuena and threatened to release the sex tape if he didn't pay up. Valbuena went to the police, and they recommended having an undercover police officer negotiate between Valbuena's party and the blackmailers themselves. The sex tape is said to have been filmed on a mobile phone, which led to suspicions that a teammate had filmed it. And Valbuena has been married since 2009 to Fanny Lafont, and the blackmailers claimed that the video showed him having sex with his wife. Hey, at least it was his wife and not someone else, but still a shitty position to be put in considering he didn't know for sure if the blackmailers legitimately had the footage or not. But anyways, Djibril Cissé was the first former teammate of Valbuena that was arrested, but he pleaded his innocence to both law officials and live on French national television. He said that he was 1,000,000% confident that he was not guilty and would come out scot-free in this case. As of April 2017, however, he was placed under formal examination once again since his case was initially thrown out. But he's confident this new trial will give him an opportunity to prove by law that he had no involvement. As for Benzema, how was he involved? Well, he admitted to French investigators that he had indeed spoken to Valbuena about the blackmailing incident during a French training session in 2015. Benzema knew of the situation, as a source said, quote, "Karim Benzema has admitted to speaking to him at the request of a childhood friend, who was approached by 3 blackmailers who were in possession of the sex tape. Benzema said he had agreed with his childhood friend on what he should say so that his teammate would negotiate exclusively with him." Now, apparently, Cissé had simply told Valbuena to be careful in negotiating with these people, while Benzema had insisted that Valbuena negotiate only through the individual that he was familiar with amongst the blackmailers. The prosecutors claimed that by Benzema recommending this, it arose enough suspicion that he was involved in getting a cut or facilitating the blackmail payment. By the way, they demanded 150,000 euros from Valbuena or else they would release the tape. Benzema's defense was that he only offered Valbuena advice on the blackmailing plot that was haunting him, telling him to only deal with the individual who knows Benzema via Karim's brother, and he claimed complete ignorance over the nature of the tape and the money that was being demanded. So, depending on how the case went, Benzema could be seen as a negotiator between the blackmailers or simply a friend that was put in an awkward position who didn't understand what exactly was going on. Was he aware? I mean, who knows? But all the while, the undercover police officer that I mentioned earlier who was working as an in-between for Valbuena, well, he was trying to push the two sides, blackmailers and Valbuena's side, into making a deal in order to make an arrest possible, which is an important detail in Benzema's defense case. He first took his case to the Court of Appeals, insisting that the undercover police officer acted dishonestly by tapping Benzema's phone during the investigation and in trying to push both sides towards a deal in order to make an arrest, thus getting Benzema more involved despite him never pushing Valbuena to pay up initially. In essence, he was trying to coerce him into making him make the payment happen. This appeal was thrown out by the Court of Appeals, but when taken to the highest level of France's judicial court, the Court of Cassation, they sided with Benzema, sending it back down to the Court of Appeals where they would be forced to drop the case completely. However, that doesn't mean that he is completely out of the woods just yet, as the Supreme Court's ruling only covered the dishonesty of the police and the validity of their investigation on Benzema, and sent it back down to the Paris Court of Appeal. So, the case isn't completely thrown out just yet, but Benzema is seemingly on his way to clearing his name. So that's the legal side of things, which was definitely a stain on his international reputation. As for the football side of things, I mentioned that he was immediately suspended when he was arrested in November of 2015, alongside Valbuena, who were both deemed to be not in the right place emotionally. The French Football Federation declared on April of 2016 that Benzema would not be available for selection for Euro 2016 due to the emphasis of, quote, the ability of players to work towards unity within and around the squad, exemplarity, and the preservation of the squad are also taken into account. As a result, Noël Le Graët and Didier Deschamps have decided that Karim Benzema will not be able to take part in Euro 2016. From this, Benzema had a harsh reaction to his national team boss Didier Deschamps, former national team, I guess. Shortly after the news, Eric Cantona suspected that Hatem Ben Arfa and Karim Benzema hadn't been chosen due to their ethnic background and the rise of the extreme right in France via the National Front or Le Front National. Benzema echoed these thoughts, claiming that Deschamps had, quote, bowed to the pressure of a racist part of France. He has to know that in France, the extremist party reached the second round in the last 2 elections. Therefore, I do not know whether it is a decision only for Didier, because I've gotten along with him, with the president, everyone. Despite saying he has always gotten along with Deschamps, accusing him of bowing to racist pressure is a pretty hefty claim. A good way to damage your relationship with someone, and wouldn't change the mind of Deschamps despite Benzema scoring 31 goals in 42 appearances in the 2015-16 season. In 2017, again Benzema wasn't called up, with Deschamps again simply claiming that he wasn't called in order to, quote, maintain the harmony within the squad. And I know what you're thinking. If Valbuena isn't there, who else in the squad could Benzema be clashing with? Well, apparently there are suspicions that Benzema has tried to sabotage Olivier Giroud via social media campaigns that mock the Chelsea striker, though these claims are pretty light in evidence to say the least. In fact, the only evidence that has been offered, and I use the term evidence very loosely here, was Benzema liking a post by French rapper Booba, which ridiculed Deschamps, Giroud, and PM Manuel Valls, Prime Minister, who had recently said that Benzema had no place in the French squad. Deschamps addressed the incident, saying that Benzema liking the image on Instagram was, quote, pitiful. I would say only one word. It's pathetic. For me, I have always thought a squad comes before everything. I always make decisions for the good of the French national team. So Benzema hasn't done well to get into Deschamps' good graces, a manager who had entrusted him as France's first-choice striker prior to the blackmailing controversy and subsequent suspension. But is Deschamps right to not select Benzema? For footballing reasons? This is the final piece of the puzzle, and perhaps the part that justifies Deschamps' decision to not include the Real Madrid striker in his plans for the 2018 World Cup. As for the other competitions, I'll let you be the judge, but at least for the 2018 World Cup. In the 2015-16 season, as mentioned earlier, Benzema managed to score 31 goals in 42 appearances across all competitions. However, since that season, and the blackmail allegations, Benzema has had a marked drop-off in form. In the 2016-17 season for Madrid, he only managed to score 19 goals from 48 appearances. In the 2017-18 season, he played one less match with 47, but scored just 12 goals. His worst season with Real Madrid since his arrival in the 2009-2010 season, where he scored 9 from 33 appearances. Plus, anyone who has watched Benzema in the last couple of seasons have seen that his finishing has really taken a nosedive. When he gets the ball in the box, he often looks anxious and like he's looking for a pass when he should be shooting, and when he does shoot, it's a terrible outcome. I don't know, perhaps that's the effect of playing next to Cristiano Ronaldo for 9 years? The fact that he's always looking for a pass? Maybe? I don't know. But whatever it is, Benzema's national team fate has been sealed thanks to a perfect storm of a blackmail scandal, his poor relationship with Deschamps, and his poor form for Madrid in the last couple of seasons. The scandal got things kicked off, though Benzema's racial accusations towards Deschamps didn't do anything to alleviate an already complicated decision for Deschamps. In fact, with Benzema's jibes and his choices in which social media photos he likes, mixed with his clearly dipping form, Benzema has made the decision to not include him in the French squad easier than ever for Didier Deschamps. It's a shame, as Benzema was a great striker for Madrid and France, and he's missed out on being a World Cup champion due to some rotten luck mixed with foolishness at the start with the blackmail allegations, but he spiraled from there. But what's your opinion on the matter? Will Deschamps and Benzema's relationship ever be mended, or will we never see him play for Les Bleus again while Deschamps is in charge? By the way, Didier Deschamps, how many times can I say that in this video, has a contract through Euro 2020 where Benzema will be about 32 years old. So, unless there's a big change in how he feels, we may not see Benzema playing for France ever again. And hey, that's it for this video, guys. How do you feel about Benzema now? Do you feel for him? Does he deserve to be snubbed? If you enjoyed it and you learned something from it, then be sure to drop a like on this video for me. And if you're new around here, then hit that subscribe button if you dug the content. I'm Adrian, thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.